Hey, what's going on everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Hopping right on into today's content. Today's video is going to be a lot of fun and I can't wait to dive in. And a lot of you guys have been DMing me and contacting me any which way you can get a hold of me and letting me know about this news story. And as the title of this video suggests, yes, Mick Thompson is no longer with Jackson Guitars. So before we talk about this relatively massive news story, I just gotta ask, if you're brand new to my channel or you've yet to hit that subscribe button, to please do so. I'd really appreciate it. It'd mean a lot. And thank you to everybody who always tunes back into this channel and just continues to hang out with me and support. Alright, with that being said, let's talk about this huge news story. So currently on tour, I actually have a day off right now here back home. But yeah man, a lot of you guys are tagging me like I was saying, and the news is ESP Guitars has just scooped up Mick Thomson, and Mick Thompson is no longer with Jackson Guitars. The reason why we know all this is because Mick Thompson just debuted his brand new ESP guitar overseas, I believe over in Japan if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, caught the internet by storm. And you know, people such as myself want to talk about it, you know, share the news and just give some commentary and thoughts and opinions on where the foreseeable future will go in terms of Mick Thompson and ESP Guitars. So a huge shout out to Mrs. Thompson actually for documenting and showcasing this news story, because it's you know, groundbreaking and relatively new, and she's been doing her due diligence to let everybody know what's going on. It's pretty cool. So taking a look at this first picture here, we have Mick Thompson holding an ESP guitar, and as you notice, the obvious elephant in the room, this is not a reverse headstock. Reason why that's so crucial is for a number of reasons. The first reason is because Mick Thompson's signature guitars have always, generally speaking, have had some sort of reverse headstock with Ibanez and then especially with Jackson. So I don't know if this is just a standard ESP guitar or a prototype or what, but there's a reason. Another reason why I'm showing this off is because there's another ESP guitar that we see where it has in fact a reversed headstock. So this is like kind of the first one we saw, and yeah man, it was pretty massive to see this news story break. This next picture here is actually a screenshot of a video of Mick walking on stage with this guitar, and this is the guitar that we would more or less expect from Mick Thompson, i.e. reverse headstock. There's some interesting pickup selections here, which we'll get to here in a second. But yeah, just a kind of a metal stripped down guitar and the reverse headstock. So this is the one that he was actually playing. Next pictures is probably the best look you'll get of this guitar. A lot of things that are interesting about this guitar. First and foremost is the overall finish of this guitar and or color. So this is obviously a very sparkly black metallic, presumably black. It's hard to tell with certain lighting and stuff, but I think this is a black guitar with a lot of sparkles. Reverse headstock, like I was saying, this one says M2 Custom. Okay, so this is not a Mick Thompson signature, I don't think, per se. I believe this is a custom shop guitar for Mick. Who knows, right? Just speculating. Another thing that's really interesting is fretboard markers. Fretboard markers were always lacking predominantly in Mick Thompson's signature guitars, so the fact that ESP has equipped some fretboard markers on this guitar is a very interesting aesthetic for Mick Thompson. Next thing I want to point right here is if this looks like a Fishman Modern of sorts. However, in this particular picture, we can't see the bridge pickup, but if you notice here, there's a matching logo, so I'm assuming the bridge pickup is a Fishman as well. Another thing that's interesting is take a look at this bridge right here. This looks like a regular hip shot bridge. We have not seen anything from ESP just yet incorporating the signature Mick Thompson bridge system, which is essentially like a Floyd Rose of sorts, just, you know, direct mounted to the body and like no carve out in the back or anything like that for the springs. But in this guitar right here, it looks like we just have a standard hip shot bridge. So very, very different for what we would expect from Mick Thompson, right? And then one final photo right here. If you take a look at this guitar up in the top right, this is like a metallic silver or a metallic black, just maybe the way the light's hitting it. It's very, very shiny and flashy. But again, taking a look here at the pickup, here it looks like a Fishman Modern neck. I mean, that matte black looks like a Fishman Modern. This one, however, looks a lot more shiny, and we actually have like pole pieces. So to me, I'm not exactly sure what that model could be, but there's definitely a couple options it could be. So kind of just brainstorming right now for the sake of this video. If I had to guess what that pickup is, there's really three options. It could be either a Fishman Classic, which I highly doubt, because why would you have a Modern and a Classic? But then also too, you have the Ryan Bruce pickup and the Devin Townsend pickup. So I think it's one of those three. And that's just from the aesthetic, but also too because it's more, looks like it's a little bit more shiny than the other Fishman. Who knows, man? Maybe it's not even a Fishman at all. Maybe it's an EMG or a Seymour Duncan or something. Who knows, right? But I'm pretty sure, if I had to guess, that that's a Fishman of some kind. Hey everybody, just want to make a quick edit in this video right here. I forgot about two other pictures that I saw that you guys sent to me, and I just completely spaced on them when making the original video. So there's two other guitars that we saw in two separate pictures. One where Mick is playing an Eclipse, presumably some sort of single cut, which looks really, really weird. Just doesn't look like you know, it's just like a weird fever dream, like alternate universe type of thing. Like I would never expect to see that shape of guitar on stage with Mick, right? It just doesn't, it looks different. It doesn't look bad, it just looks different, right? But also too, we have a V shape as well, which presumably is like an arrow of some kind from ESP. So anyway, man, yeah, long story short, 2 other guitars that we saw, that's just, it's so bananas to me, man. Like ESP and Mick Thompson, it's interesting in a good way. So, what does this all mean? Why does this all matter? Well, for a number of reasons. I mean, the Jackson soloist, the Mick Thompson signature guitar, presumably is no more. And that's a huge, I don't know if bummer's the word, but a huge shock, because I remember when that came out, you know, 6-7 years ago now, give or take, whenever it was, or when he debuted it. I just remember everybody being over the moon. And I remember when I got my copy of his guitar here on the channel, I was super stoked, because Jackson Guitars is an awesome guitar brand, and Mick Thompson had been playing Jackson's prior to him going to BC Rich, and you know, that whole saga. So it was a nice like coming full circle thing for the artist and the brand. But to see him go to ESP is equally as cool, because ESP Guitars is killing it, man. Like, they're awesome guitars. They have a great reputation, and you know, it's just another evolution of the Mick Thompson just saga in terms of not only the artist, but what we as consumers are going to be able to pick up and jam on ourselves, you know. So I want to leave it up to you guys. What do you guys think of this news? What do you guys think of my findings? I'd love to hear from you guys down below in the comment section, okay? If you feel free to play along, leave your thoughts and opinions down below, okay? Again, if you're brand new to my channel, be sure to subscribe. I'd really sincerely appreciate it. With that being said, I am out of here. Y'all stay safe, stay healthy, stay metal. I'll see you guys next time. Later.